Top stories tonight. Fears of petrol scarcity ease as striking tanker drivers resume operations. Bill for creation of state police scales second reading in Nigeria's House of Representatives. Federal government threatens to clamp down on civil servants leaking official documents. Suspected rebels kill 8 in DR Congo. Thank you for joining us. I'm Felicity Ezewike. We begin in West Africa, where after a 2-day withdrawal of service, tanker drivers in Nigeria are set to resume operations following a crucial meeting involving key stakeholders and government officials. The decision to resume operations comes after discussions between the federal government, Nigerian Association of Road Transport Owners representatives, and other industry stakeholders, addressing concerns over the high cost of diesel needed to fuel their trucks for transportation of petroleum products across the nation. Among those present at the meeting were the National President of NATO, Yusuf Lawal Uthman, Minister of State for Petroleum Resources, Oil, Heineken, Lokobiri, and officials from the Nigerian Midstream and Downstream Petroleum Regulatory Authority, as well as representatives from major energy marketers and Independent Petroleum Marketers Association. A bill seeking to amend Nigeria's constitution to legitimize the establishment of state police in the country has passed a second reading in the House of Representatives. The bill, which was sponsored by the Deputy Speaker of the House and 14 other members of Parliament, is expected to empower state governments to establish their own dedicated police agencies in order to tackle the escalating insecurity crisis in the country. In the meantime, Nigeria's Senate has accused governors of the nation's federating states of not doing enough to reduce the hardship being faced by citizens. This was as the Senate debated on the current economic situation in the country and resolved to investigate disbursement and loans by previous administrations amounting to almost 30 trillion naira. Amadine Uyi reports.
The session on the floor of the Senate reviewed the ongoing situation in the country, especially in relation to the hardship being faced by citizens. While the Senate admitted there's a need for urgent intervention, the President of the Senate says that the ongoing hunger protests by citizens are unfortunately sponsored.
You can see a lot of sponsored protests here and there, but those people are not aware. Most of those sponsored protests are not aware of the kind of efforts being made by this Senate to tackle the situation, together with the joint management team of the federal government of Nigeria.
Lawmakers expressed disappointment at the conduct of state governors, saying they have not been starved of funds, but have performed poorly.
Each state government in 2023 was given 18 billion naira at once. Some of the governors that benefited from that 18 billion naira are here.
I must say that unverified report has it that each of the state governments in the last few months have received additional 30 billion from the Federal Inland Revenue Service outside their normal allocations, from the Federation account, outside their normal allocations.
What Nigerians want today is food and security. This belongs to the medium-term or long-term action that we need to take.
Others called for investigation of previous administrations to give account of monies expended, running into trillions, expected to improve the lives of citizens.
We said that
The other monies that has been spent cumulatively to, was it 20-something trillion? That the details should be provided. It has never been provided to date.
About 20-something trillion. They knew nothing about it. They didn't know how the money was spent, what it was spent on.
The Senate resolved to set up a special investigative committee to investigate disbursements by the previous administrations amounting to over 30 trillion naira. This includes the controversial Ways and Means loans from the nation's apex bank and other interventions. In Abuja for News Central, I am Amadine Uyi.
Many thanks, Amadine. The second story tonight was about the possibility of the creation of state police. My colleague Idong Joseph now reports.
The call for state police seems to have gained attention in recent times, not only among lawmakers, but it seems the executive is also buying into the idea.
To provide for the establishment of state police.
Leading the debate for the bill which seeks to alter the nation's constitution and make provisions for the establishment of state police in the country. Lawmakers say the bill will empower states to establish state police so as to be able to tackle the insecurity challenges in their states.
We have the likes of Amotekun, we have Neighborhood Watch, we have Ebubeagu in the southeast. What we're trying to do and what this bill seeks to do is to streamline those activities.
The bill comprises of 18 clauses that seeks to alter Section 34, 35, 39, 42, 84, 89, and 129 among other sections of the 1999 Constitution of Nigeria. The proposal for the establishment of state police was supported by many lawmakers, as they said this will help address the current insecurity challenges being witnessed. However, there are some who expressed concern, especially in the ability of state governments to fund the venture in the light of current economic challenges.
It gives impetus to the communities. You are so conscious that you have security. What we are talking about now is the legal support.
May be different from what is happening in Abia, may be different from what is happening in Kano, and the way to control it also will be different. So I believe we are in need of their need.
Many states are insolvent, unable to pay their salaries and other obligations. State police is not the right way to go. Can the members of other political parties have justice in a job? The answer is no. So while I'm supporting this bill, I want us to look inward.
It will be recalled that the bill calling for the amendment of the Constitution to legalize state police in the country has been rejected by previous administrations. While there have been fears that they will be used by political class to oppress political opponents, lawmakers are saying that with less than 400,000 police officers in the employment of the federal government, providing security for over 200 million citizens is a tall order. In Abuja for News Central, I am Idong Joseph.
The federal government, through the Office of the Head of Civil Service of the Federation, has commenced moves to ensure that official documents, government documents classified as sensitive, are not leaked to the public. The Head of Civil Service of the Federation, Dr. Folashade Yemiesan, in a memo uploaded to the website of the Office of the Head of Civil Service of the Federation, said the leakages of such documents have become embarrassing to the government and as such become unacceptable. The memo states that any officer caught engaging in such unbecoming act will be severely dealt with in line with the relevant provisions of the public service rules and other extant circulars. There has been an increase in the leakage of sensitive government documents in the public space in recent times. To discuss this, I am joined by public affairs analyst Jide Ojo. Jide, it's good to have you on tonight. Should we even be talking... You're welcome. Should we even be talking about this? I mean, aren't there existing laws against leakage of sensitive documents in the civil service?
There is, Felicity, there is what is called Official Secrets Act, which is coexisting with the Freedom of Information Act. And then while we have Freedom of Information Act, 2011, it did not abrogate the Official Secret Act. So the two legislations, the two pieces of legislations are existing concurrently.
Aside the strong warnings against such practice, the head of the civil service says part of efforts to curb this is for all permanent secretaries to fast track the migration to the digitalized workflow system. She believes that this will reduce physical contact with official documents and check the increasing incidence of leakages. First, I'd like to ask, is she correct? If yes, why are they just now talking about digitization? Shouldn't it have been done a long time ago if they were so worried about leakages?
Of course, better late than never. This is something that should have been done long years ago. But you know how the civil service works. They believe in all this paper filing, moving from one table to the other. And that's why from the civil society angle, we have always encouraged computerization and digitization of our operations. I learned to use Outlook Express over 15 years ago because where I used to work during my 8 to 5 years, my bosses sent me assignments via Outlook Express. So you just have to be on the lookout on your computer, on your personal laptop, and nobody gets to tell you I've sent you on an errand or on an assignment. And that's what civil service, Nigerian civil service should have done many years ago, because with that, there will be paper trail. If anybody even prints a document, you know who has printed that document. You can easily track any act of leakage. And just waking up to this digitization, though belatedly, is a welcome development. But I think one issue we cannot gloss over is why it may be good on one hand to have Official Secret Act and to keep information from being leaked. It's also unhelpful to government when they are over-secretive. Nigeria is a signatory to Open Government Partnership, and it should not be encouraged that people should be hiding what should ordinarily be public information. In the two instances that were cited in that memo, which is first the leakage about the cost of the committee that is reviewing the minimum wage, is the cost that was requested by the Secretary to the Federation, which is 1 billion. And then the president approving half of that amount for as initial take-off grant. The question is it justifiable to spend 500 million on for 37 people to sit and discuss minimum wage? Is that not too much? Is the federal government trying to induce the labor unions to allow them to agree to government position? Because I really do not think 500 million for as sitting allowances for this committee, which is supposed to sit for about 1 month. I don't think that huge sums of money is justifiable.
So
the other one, which is
I'm sorry to interject. I'm told we are done with this interview, but I'd like to ask you this very important question. There are concerns that there is no genuineness in this push to digitize, because these leakages are also helping to protect the interest of the people. In 30 seconds, if you can, I'd like you to respond to that.
Exactly the point I was driving at. That when you are over-secretive, that means that you are doing something bad that you don't want the public to know. The two instances that were cited in that memo, which is the sitting allowance of 500 million for the National Minimum Wage Committee, as well as the subsidy for those who want to go on that. You ask yourself whether these are justifiable things that government should get involved in. Issue of religion, we have said, is a personal thing. whatever the amount, if you don't have the resources, you don't have to go on Hajj or to pilgrimage to Jerusalem. So why should government be giving subsidy because they want people to go on holy pilgrimage? So I agree with those who are of the opinion that over secretive nature of government is also not good for purposes of transparency and accountability in government. Yes.
Thank you very much for speaking with us as always.
My pleasure.
To politics now. In continuation of the political season in Edo State, residents are gearing up for the primaries of the People's Democratic Party, PDP. In Edo North, where the current Deputy Governor, Philip Shoibu, comes from, some residents are hoping he can consolidate on what Adams Oshomole did when he was governor, while some just want good performance regardless of who emerges winner. Our correspondent, Bernard Akede, visited Shoibu's hometown, Auchi, in Edo State, and filed this report. Okay, we don't seem to have that report already. We'll bring it to you subsequently. But coming up on tonight, Lassa fever outbreak claims 10 lives in Ebonyi State. Details after the break. Do stay with us. If you've just joined us, you're watching Tonight. A reminder of our top stories. Fears of petrol scarcity ease as striking tanker drivers resume operations. Bill for creation of state police scales second reading in Nigeria's House of Representatives. Federal government threatens to clamp down on civil servants over leaked documents. Suspected rebels kill 8 in DR Congo. Thank you for staying with us. In a recent development, the Ebonyi State government has confirmed that 10 individuals have tragically lost their lives, while 15 others have been infected as a result of an outbreak of Lassa fever across 7 local government areas of the state. According to Orogu Samson, the disease surveillance notification officer from the State Ministry of Health, the cases have been reported to have occurred between January 4 and February 16, 2024. Samson further highlighted that within this 1 month period, a total of 25 people have been infected, including 2 healthcare workers, resulting in the loss of 10 lives. Drawing attention to the severity of the situation, Samson mentioned that in the previous year, the state had recorded 53 cases of Lassa fever, leading to the unfortunate loss of 36 lives. Emphasizing the indiscriminate nature of the disease, he stressed that it affects individuals across all age groups. To discuss this, I'm joined by President, Medical Women's Association of Nigeria, Ebonyi State Chapter, Dr. Lillian Wobashi. Thank you very much, Dr. Wobashi, for joining us.
Thank you for having me.
What are the typical symptoms of Lassa fever that people should be aware of?
Okay, Lassa fever has a lot of symptoms, and they look like the symptoms of other diseases you have. You have fever, very high fever in patients that have Lassa fever. You have general body weakness, where the person has extreme weakness. You are so tired, you feel like you can't lift an arm or a leg. Then you have malaise, you feel like you are ill. Then they also have headache, terrible headache that these patients have. Then they have sore throats. You are unable to swallow, you have pain in your throat, try to swallow food or water and you're having pain. Then they also have muscle pain. Your muscles feel like you carried 50 bags of cement. There's pain in your muscles. Then you also have chest pain. Then many of the patients also cough. You have cough. The patient is unable to eat. You have loss of appetite because of this Lassa fever. Many are coughing. You have pain in your abdomen. You have chills and rigor. You know that shaking cold and that comes with malaria. You have similar things, chills and rigor in this patient. Then as it continues, you have difficulty breathing. Remember, we call it Lassa fever because it's a viral hemorrhagic fever. As it progresses, the patient starts bleeding, abnormal bleeding. You have bleeding from your nose, from your mouth, from your mucous membrane. If you put a needle to collect sample there, the person keeps bleeding. So there's a lot of abnormal bleeding. As it progresses, patient can start convulsing. You have seizures and convulsions, and it might even go ahead to shut down the patient's kidney and with other complications that can arise as the disease progresses.
That is, if it is not arrested quickly, I presume.
Yes.
How does
if it's not treated promptly, to go ahead to have complications.
All right. How does the transmission occur, and what steps can individuals take to protect themselves from getting infected?
Getting infected with, to transmit Lassa virus to humans that will make you infected. The person, there are two major ways. One, and the major part, is coming in contact with the poop, that is feces or urine of an infected rat. There's a special species of rats. We call it Mastonia natalensis. That is the multi-mammate rat. At the beginning of this news headline, we saw a rat that has a lot of breasts under it. So that multi-mammate, it has a lot of breasts under it. That species of rat is the one, yes, is projected, is the rat that is responsible for transmission of Lassa fever virus. And you can only do that if you come in contact with its urine or feces. And for the urine or feces to get to you, the rat is able to transmit it because it lives inside or around our homes. And this major method of moving is that when it moves, it can poop or pee in foodstuffs that are left unopened. Rice, gari, any open foodstuff that the multi-mammate rat poops or pees on, the infected rat, it pees and poop, can infect the humans living in that home. Then the second method of getting it is if you come in contact with the body fluid of an infected person. When we talk about body fluid, we're saying the urine of that person, the feces, the nasal, if the person coughs out fluid for you, the tears, any liquid, any human fluid from an infected person is capable of infecting another person. So just those two major pathways, coming in contact with the poop or the pee of the rat, and then getting in contact with the fluid of an infected person, the body fluid of an infected person. Thank you.
All right, Doctor, quickly, in 30 seconds, if you can, what measures should people take if they suspect that they have been exposed?
If you think you have been exposed, the first thing we expect you to do is to isolate yourself. Do not mix with other people. If you think you've come in contact with the fluid of an infected person, do not go and mix with the others. Isolate yourself. Notify the authorities. Most states, most hospitals have what we call state epidemiologists because Lassa is a notifiable disease. So notify the authorities. Stay in one place. Don't go and mix. Don't go to school. Do not go to market. Stay in one place. If you develop any of these symptoms we're talking about, fever, body pain, cough, catarrh, chest pain, start going to the hospital and tell your doctor or healthcare provider that you think you've been exposed to Lassa, maybe a sick person or the rat. Just notify them so that your treatment, they can do the necessary investigation and start treatment immediately.
Doctor, thank you very much for educating us tonight.
Thank you.
All right, let's bring you that story from Edo State. The primaries of the People's Democratic Party is in the offing. My colleague has details of preparations ahead.
More and more billboards of politicians and political parties across Edo State are a reminder that politics is in the air. Following the drama from the primaries of the All Progressives Congress, APC, all eyes are now on the opposition. But the opposition People's Democratic Party, PDP, also has had its fair share of political drama in recent times. Godwin Obaseki, the state governor, has not been on good terms with his deputy, Philip Shaibu, who is one of the candidates running for a shot at the primaries. Blessing, who resides in Jetu, where Shaibu comes from, believes the relationship between the governor and his deputy may not necessarily affect his chances at the primaries.
Nigeria election is what we can never predict. The same states today is what we call wait and see state, because the governor was what we called wait and see governor. So I believe he can still wake up tomorrow and change his mind, because they were not having issues before. It was just of recent they were not having a problem. Well, I learned that they said they've settled, but I don't know why the governor is now bringing in as well. So we don't know if he's trying to use that one to trick the APC candidates. At that minute, he will now bring in Philip Shaibu.
Shaibu hails from the same local government area as Adams Oshomole, and the people are hoping that should Shaibu become the governor, he will be able to consolidate on what Oshomole did for them.
To me, Philip Shaibu, let's say as he goes, because it was once Oshomole's boy. So I believe if he became the governor of Edo State, to me, if I were to be him or as a person, he have to continue from where his mentor stopped, because his mentor did very well for Jetu. Like this road that we are standing now, Oshomole was the one who did this road. It was just a one-way before, but today it's a dual carriageway. So I believe he has so many things to do because he's from this community.
However, there are those who are less interested in whoever wins the primaries and eventually becomes governor. The current economic crisis in the country is biting so hard, and they say all they want is a leader who has the interest of the people at heart.
In fact, people are not talking about the election again. We are talking about the condition of Nigeria in general. People are suffering. No food, no water, no electricity, nothing. We are just, every day by day, people are suffering, whichever way. Whether Labour Party or whether APC or whether, in fact, we are not talking about party again. We are talking of human being. So, whichever way, let them know how to solve problem of this country.
Shaibu now has to first cross the hurdle of winning the primaries come Thursday, but from all that has been happening, this may not be a stroll in the park. In Benin for News Central, I am Bernard Akede.
The Nigerian Upstream Petroleum Regulatory Commission has restated its commitment to deepening the Nigerian oil and gas sector. This was stated by the Commission Chief Executive, Benga Komolafe, at a recent stakeholder engagement in Lagos. News Center's business correspondent, Perpetua Fasomi Peter, was there and filed in this report.
The 8th Sub-Saharan Africa International Petroleum Exhibition and Conference, SIPEC, held in Lagos recently, themed The Next Steps, Accelerating African Content. The event had in attendance government officials, executives from various national and international oil companies across Africa, and their regulators.
It is with great pleasure and honor that I welcome you all to Lagos. We come together with a shared purpose to chart a course for the sustainable development and prosperity of Africa's oil and gas sector.
Speaking further at the event, NUPRC Chief Executive took participants on a journey from how Africa must respond to global trends in the oil and gas sector to what his commission is doing to ensure Nigeria achieves a daily production of 2.2 million barrels of crude oil.
The new dynamics in the global energy arena necessitate that Nigeria and other countries, long dependent on the exploitation of oil and gas as the mainstay of their economies, re-examine their strategy to secure a blossoming energy future while meeting the global climate goals.
This was corroborated by other speakers at the event.
Climate change is an existential threat, true. But perhaps for us in Africa, a bigger existential threat is institutional poverty, hunger, disease, and conflicts.
Speaking on Nigeria's commitment to meeting its environmental stewardship obligation, the NUPRC boss said the commission is not resting on its oars, despite Nigeria occupying the 165th position in the global ranking of top emitters.
The Nigeria Upstream Petroleum Regulatory Commission is effectively spearheading the national drive to achieve zero flare target by year 2030 and net zero carbon emissions by year 2060 through several initiatives.
Nigeria stands ready to lead the way with sustainable and strategic action, regional collaboration, and a commitment to professionalism. Africa can emerge as a global energy powerhouse. In Lagos, for News Central, Perpetua Fasomi Peter.
Still ahead, suspected rebels kill 8 in DR Congo. We'll bring you more on this when we return. Do stay with us. The news continues in West Africa, where Guinea's ruling junta has taken drastic measures, freezing the accounts and seizing the passports of former government members following the sudden dissolution of the administration. Chief of Staff General Ibrahima Bongora announced on state television that the junta has ordered the freezing of bank accounts, seizure of travel documents, and removal of official privileges from dissolved government officials, with no clear explanation given for these actions. The military, which seized power in a coup last September, has yet to provide any public justification for this move, leaving many citizens confused and concerned. This development comes amid reported tensions within the government and recent protests in the capital Conakry, despite the junta's ban on demonstrations and crackdown on dissent. In Central Africa, suspected militants affiliated with the Islamic State group have yet again unleashed terror in a deadly attack in the Eastern Democratic Republic of Congo. According to local reports, rebels believed to be from the Allied Democratic Forces launched a brazen attack on the town of Mayimoya in Beni territory, leaving a trail of devastation in their wake. Sabiti Njamoja, an administrative officer who commenced the green toll of the attack, who confirmed the green toll of the attack, said 8 people, including 3 women, died in the attack. He urged the military to intensify efforts to combat the rising ADF militancy plaguing the region. Meanwhile, the Congolese army has mobilized search operations in the surrounding areas, vowing to root out the perpetrators responsible for the senseless violence. South Africa's President Cyril Ramaphosa has announced the date for the upcoming general election as the nation gears up for a pivotal moment in its democratic history. President Ramaphosa on Tuesday declared that South Africa will head to the polls on May 29 to elect a new parliament and ultimately choose their next leader. The election is poised to be historic, with polls indicating a significant challenge for Ramaphosa's ANC party, which has dominated South Africa's politics since the end of apartheid. Ramaphosa's ANC faces mounting criticism over issues such as violent crime, economic stagnation, power cuts, and unemployment, leading to a heightened sense of uncertainty and competition in the political landscape. Let's join our business desk for today's business news.
Business news in association with Money Master PSB, the easy way to master your money.
Talking business tonight, the National Pension Commission, called PENCOM, has disclosed that it recovered 12.5 billion naira in penalties from employers who failed to remit pension contributions, emphasizing the importance of timely compliance with remittance regulations. Recovery agents engaged by the Commission collected this sum along with approximately 12.9 billion naira in principal contributions from non-compliant employers since the inception of PENCOM's Recovery Agents Program in 2012. The recovered funds, totaling almost 50-50 in principal contributions and penalties, are exclusively allocated to retirement savings accounts holders to bolster their retirement savings. Additionally, PENCOM is working to raise awareness about the micro-pension plan, which aims to provide a savings avenue for individuals in the informal sector and has seen around 100,000 ISAs open with contributions totaling just over 500 million naira. Away from that, the Ghana cedi has experienced a 3.56% depreciation against the US dollar since the start of 2024. Despite improved market liquidity, the local currency faced downward pressure due to corporate demand and higher than anticipated January 2024 inflation. Although depreciation pressures have eased and liquidity has improved, the cedi still lost 0.40% in value against the US dollar last week. It also depreciated by 0.1% and 0.19% against the pound and euro on the retail market. The Bank of Ghana's interventions initially stabilized the cedi at 12.58 Ghanaian cedis to the dollar, but it is currently selling at 12.75 Ghanaian cedi to the dollar as of February 2024. Analysts expect renewed uncertainties in the market and a potential strengthening of the dollar due to the U.S. January 2024 inflation figures. Finally, South Africa's unemployment rate increased to 32.1% in the fourth quarter, up from 31.9% in the previous quarter, with job cuts in the social services and agriculture sectors contributing to the rise. This negative trend is expected to impact voter support for the ruling African National Congress ahead of upcoming elections and place additional strain on the country's finances. The extended definition of unemployment, which includes individuals available for work but not actively seeking employment, stood at 41.1%. The ongoing challenges in the economy, such as weaker commodity prices, energy shortages, and logistics constraints, are likely to continue exerting pressure on job opportunities. This was evidenced as mining companies like Anglo American Platinum proposed significant job restructuring, potentially affecting thousands of positions. And that's it on Business News for tonight. Do stay with us. There's still more to come. I am Lekon Onobanjo.
Business News in association with Money Master PSB, the easy way to master your money.
Babatunde Koiki is standing by with the latest in the world of sports.
Sports Update, brought to you by Corn Oil. Corn Oil, we go the extra mile.
Hello and welcome to Sports News. The Confederation of African Football, CAF, has conducted the preliminary draw for the 2025 Africa Cup of Nations. The draw was held on Tuesday at CAF's headquarters in Cairo, Egypt. The 8 lowest ranked teams in the last FIFA ranking were involved in the preliminary round. The draw will see Somalia take on Eswatini, Sao Tome and Principe tackle South Sudan, Chad will battle Mauritius, while Djibouti will face Liberia. The games will be played on a home and away basis between the 20th to the 26th of March 2024. The 4 preliminary round winners will join the 44 exempted teams for the group stage. Meanwhile, the Confederation of African Football has reached an agreement in principle for the 2025 Cup of Nations to be played in July and August next year in Morocco. Meanwhile, Super Falcons head coach Randy Waldrum insists it is important for the team to secure a place at the 2024 Olympic Games in Paris. The 9-time African champions last qualified for the Olympics in 2008. The Super Falcons will battle the indomitable Lionesses of Cameroon in the 3rd round of the qualifiers. The first leg encounter will take place at the Stade de la Réunification in Douala on Friday evening. The reverse fixture is slated for the Moshood Abiola Stadium in Abuja next week, Monday. And Australian Open champion Jannik Sinner powered to his first Rotterdam Open title on Sunday, breaking down a determined defensive effort from Australia's Alex de Minaur to win 7-5, 6-4 in a high-quality battle. The win extended the Italian top seed's unbeaten streak to 15, including his run to glory in Melbourne, and takes him to a career-high third in world rankings. And finally, the Nigeria Taekwondo Federation has invited 24 athletes to camp ahead of the 13th Africa Games in Ghana, which will begin on the 8th of March and end on the 23rd of March in Accra, Ghana. 2014 Commonwealth Games champion Josephine Esuku, 2019 Africa Games gold medalist Chinazum Nwosu, 2023 Grand Prix bronze medalist Elizabeth Anyanacho, and 2015 All-Africa Games gold medalist Uzoamaka Otuadimma topped the list of 11 women athletes invited to camp in Abuja. 2019 Africa Games bronze medalist Benjamin Okwomose, multiple national champions Ifeolu Ajayi, Shola Oluokere, Nzelu Chukwudi, Paul Kolade, and Peter Itiku are part of the 13-man list of the men's athletes. The athletes are currently camped in Abuja and undergoing training at the Velodrome Package A of the Moshood Abiola Stadium. That's all for sports. Back to you, Felicity.
Sports Update, brought to you by Corn Oil. Corn Oil, we go the extra mile.
Up next is entertainment with Jadel Simon.
Entertainment news in association with Glow Unlimited.
Thank you, Felicity. Welcome to Entertainment Tonight. I'm Jadel Simon. Now let's get into it. Nigerian comedian Seyi Lor has refuted singer Idris Abdulkarim's claim that he regrets supporting President Tinubu, calling the statement untrue. Now, Abdulkarim alleged during a podcast appearance that Seyi Lor privately admitted regretting his support for the president after the clip went viral. Numerous reactions were garnered from social media users who slapped Seyi Lor for ever supporting the president. Following this, Seyi Lor took to his X account to respond to Abdulkarim's viral clip. In this tweet, he vehemently stated that the singer's words were untrue. Seyi Lor took to social media to deny the allegations, emphasizing that Abdulkarim's words were not true. He also questioned when he allegedly made such a statement to Abdulkarim, suggesting that Abdulkarim may have misunderstood a joke as reality. Despite facing criticism for his public support of President Tinubu and the All Progressive Party, Seyi Lor remains steadfast in his stance and recently penned an open letter to the president, urging for improvements in the nation. I have to comment Seyi Lor on that one because, not too many of us can contain online bullying for having an unpopular opinion and then remaining on your opinion. However, moving on to BAFTA, the BAFTA organizers have defended the decision to exclude Matthew Perry from the In Memoriam section at this year's Film Awards. The Friends actor who passed away at the age of 54 in October was not mentioned in the tributes, leading to some criticism. However, the BAFTA organizers explained that Matthew Perry would be honored at their TV awards instead. The decision to exclude Perry has sparked discussions and raised questions about the criteria for inclusion in these tributes. Now, it is worth noting that award ceremonies often face challenges in selecting individuals to include in these segments due to time constraints and the need to balance recognition across different categories. Nevertheless, as the organizers have said, they intend to honor Matthew Perry at the BAFTA TV Awards. Now that's the much we can take on entertainment tonight. Next up is what's trending.
Entertainment news in association with Glow Unlimited.
Thank you for staying with us. Now, away from entertainment stories, let's tell you what is trending. Currently trending on social media and sparking reactions from various quarters is Dangote, and here's why. Earlier today in Katsina, a mob attacked a truck transporting grain, looting its content for themselves. A lot of people have attributed this to the hunger in the land. Here are a few reactions on X. Saki is saying they have started blocking Dangote trailers carrying foodstuff. If President Bola Tinubu doesn't address the situation of hunger urgently, people won't just stop at blocking trailers carrying foodstuffs. They will start breaking into the houses of politicians and wealthy people. Gau Gabar is saying President Tinubu is playing with fire. Citizens are hungry to the extent of coming out and looting a Dangote truck transporting food items. If massive protests about hunger breaks out nationwide, our overstretched security agencies cannot control it. I have to agree with Gabar on that one. Lin Barber is saying the video I have seen about Katsina people stopping a truck carrying Dangote's food item is really troubling. This is the point people will stop at when there's no food to go around and there's hike in the prices of the food items. It increases crime rates and insecurities. Hunger is an indiscriminating pandemic. It hits everyone. May God see us through. Now that's the much we can take on what's trending tonight. I'm Jadal Simon. Thank you for staying with us. Back with Felicity for the rest of the news.
Many thanks, Jadal. That's all on Nigeria tonight. But before we go, let's take another look at some of the major stories. Fears of petrol scarcity have eased as striking tanker drivers resume operations. Bill for creation of state police has killed second reading in Nigeria's House of Representatives. Federal government has threatened to clamp down on civil servants over leaking official documents. We also told you that suspected rebels have killed 8 in DR Congo. Do send your eyewitness report to the number showing now on your screen, or you could follow us on social media. That's at News Central TV. We're live on DSTV channel 422, Star Times channel 274, Evo TV, and on YouTube. As always, thank you very much for your kind company. I'll see you next time.